Before we even get started, I have a quick couple of questions. What would you do if you were fearless? What would you do if you weren't afraid of anything? Recently, I was reading a book called Who Moved My Cheese, and it is a really simple and a really good book that talks about a hypothetical story, a story that can change lives. Dr. Spencer Johnson created this story, and there are a total of 4 characters in this story that aim to represent our entire society, our entire world, and different types of characteristics people have. Let's just talk about the plot of the story, and then we would dive more into what this story resembles and how we can apply things from that story into our own lives. There are 2 mice and 2 people in this story, and they are put together in a very uncertain maze. It's a very dark maze, and they have to wander places to places to find cheese in order to be alive. One day they find out a place where there's a ton of cheese and they are super happy about it. But that leaves them with no motivation to go out and look for other cheese. And simultaneously, one day comes when they find out that there's no more cheese left. After they realize that there's no more cheese left, something interesting happens. Those 2 mice, they are really straightforward and they have a very simple method of thinking. They just go and wander in the maze to find out more cheese. However, on the other hand, those 2 people, they have a very complex method of thinking, and they feel they are not very well suited as there's no more cheese left. One of them out of those 2 people has a very fixed mindset, and they just don't want to change, and they just don't want to go and wander different places to get more cheese. Instead, what he decides is to just stay there and wait for something magical to happen and the cheese to come back. So the other person realizes that, okay, there's no more cheese left. The only thing that I need to do is go into that uncertain maze and find out more cheese so that I am alive. The second person also realizes that it was their fault that they didn't see that cheese was getting depleted or there was no more cheese left. So it was their fault that they didn't see that earlier. That would have motivated them to get and to wander more into those mazes and to get more cheese. As a generous person, he asks his friend to come along with him and find cheese. However, the person is having a fixed mindset, and he's like, no, I don't want to go, and I just want to be here and wait and see if something happens and just see if there's more cheese left or not. So the second person decides that, okay, so I am responsible for myself and I need to go back into that dark maze to find out more cheese. So he gets energy and then he gets motivated to get into that dark zone to find more cheese and to come back and help his friend. After a very long struggle, he was able to find cheese. Although during the time when he was trying to find more cheese, there were certain times when he felt like, let's quit and just like go back. But he just tried to push himself once. So every time he thought of like, okay, I don't want to go, or I'm just like tired and I just want to go back, he just kept saying that, okay, one more step, let's see what happens. And he just started going and out in that dark. And when he finally found cheese, he saw that those 2 mice are already there and they are cherishing that cheese. When he was in the quest of finding more cheese in the maze, he kept on writing some quotes on boards for his friend in hopes that he would be coming along, and once he sees those boards, he would be motivated. And he used to write his own thoughts, and these thoughts were some of the most interesting and most life-changing thoughts that you can ever see, and that's what makes this book really unique. One of the few things that he wrote while he was in the quest of finding more cheese is that change happens, you should anticipate change, and you should monitor change and adapt to it very quickly. And if you do not change, you might become extinct. This is one of the greatest short books that I've ever read, and a really good story to implement. Thank you so much for watching. Keep retaining what you're good at and keep improvising on that. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads.